So we are looking at the B team for the team of the season, the NWSL and also the Europe Select team of the season. So I'm assuming we're getting rest of world next week with La Liga. To be honest, possibly one of the, I wouldn't say necessarily one of the worst. I'd just say one of the most uninspired team of the season. Just one that I'm just not really that excited with. Now, yes, am I really that excited for your Super League, for your Eredivisie? Possibly not. But at least there was kind of like a few players where I was like, okay, we could kind of deal with him. When it comes to the select team of the season, really other than maybe Shaqiri just rocking a 96, which is incredible, there's kind of no real reason for them. Like in general, they are just going to be fodder choices, they're going to be pack fillers. That's going to be about it. And to be honest, NWSL isn't much better. There's a few players that work really, really well, and then there's a lot of fluff. Predominantly, this is going to be all based around getting the Serie A team of the season this week and trying to get as many as possible. And then moving into La Liga and then hopefully into some good content, at least something during footies. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. Now, just going through these a bit shortly, I haven't done these on a live team of the season tier list because realistically not many people are going to be voting on this. It is just going to be looking at predominantly the Shaqiri. I think he's a solid card in himself. Finesse, technical, incisive, and a pinged pass. There's a reason why he's 1.2. He's most definitely one of the better cards that you can get. I don't think he's going to be in that top meta though. I do think he would be more surrounded in a very nice to high level of a very usable, and that would kind of be where I would really rank him on all of this scale. When we look at the kind of second most expensive, like I say, this list really is kind of consistent on a lot of fodder players, if anything. When you look at the goalkeeper, like you could argue 6'4", so he might have a chance, but a lot of these are the Europe Select, so they're in the random leagues that maybe don't have the right amount of players that you go in to actually get some chemistry for. The obvious kind of way that you could fix that is by putting in some icons, but again, we're in team of the season. Until we get the icons back after team of the season, that's going to be the only time any of these go in. Vanaken's normally a pretty good player when it comes to it. Low driven, obviously got in the incisive. The dead ball is what it is. He's got a 5'5". A few decent wingers that I'd possibly say could be worth it, but realistically you're kind of just looking at a lot of literal fluff. Like, I'd say even this 95 right back would have been a great shout, but rapid and technical, it's like Frimpong all over again. You could use the stats, and that's going to be about it for him. Maybe Vanaken could go into a very low end on the very usable, but you've got to be realistic with it. You got to think, what is actually going to be usable in here? Maybe the Japanese Celtic player, beautiful card, most definitely, with the quick step, the finesse, the chip shot. At least he's got the meta playstyle pluses, because we know that's quite literally what it is now. Stats are kind of irrelevant. Once you get to this level, you know everybody's got that 90 above on everything. Like, you look at a left wing, tell me a left wing that's got the pace that's nearly maxed, incredible shooting, passing's up there, dribbling's up there, and physicality being 5'8". That's never normally the case. This guy's got 3 and 95 heading. They are just adding stats on for the fun of it. So you don't need to worry about it, because literally you could pick 15 of the left wings that have the exact same. It all goes down now to your Roll++, which obviously is going to be inside forward, and your Playstyle Plus. The only other thing you could potentially work on is if you would personally like a specific dribbling style. Do you prefer a Ronaldinho? Do you prefer a Neymar? Or are you more of a Hazard-esque bomb it down the wing? Loads of different styles, and that is kind of all that you really need to be looking for. So realistically, I'd be looking at a lot of these in the Europe Select, just in the bin really. There's a few that I think you could potentially get a bit of use from, but realistically, you're kind of looking a little bit more on the light scale, if we're being honest. Like, you're not going to get too much from them, and it's just naturally going to be who you prefer as such. Now, you will go with some of the playstyle pluses like David here with the finesse and the low driven. They are very much lovely combination. Whether you put him in the team, probably not. There's going to be so many that you would prefer over him that it's just not going to be possible. Most of these probably would be in the miss, in my opinion, just because there's just no reason to have them. Now, if we throw ourselves into the NWSL, I think this is where it gets slightly better. It's maybe not necessarily the most hyped team, So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. But at least there is some of the absolute monsters in there. Smith is always going to be one of the best strikers. Genuinely, her team of the year from last year to this year has been impeccable. Again, low driven, first touch, rapid, finesse. A great combination. Some people prefer quick step, some people prefer rapid. It's kind of the same thing in some way, but in general, having them shooting playstyle pluses amongst having a good first touch, an incredible striker. There's no arguments that she most definitely puts herself in the absolute monstrous category. Now, like we said, there is going to be a few that you're thinking, okay, well, what is the point? You look at a lot of the female keepers being a little bit smaller. Personally, for me, that is a deal breaker. It just is what it is. I personally would like a Milinkovic-Savic at 6'8". There's not going to be really, I don't think a single female keeper that will be able to deal with that as a 95 as well. I mean, maybe you could find a bronze, silver, gold that is really tall, but they're not going to be 95, 96 rated now. Milinkovic-Savic kind of takes over that. So when it comes to a keeper, realistically, unfortunately, they are going to be a miss. When we look at the back line, we've got a few decent players. Maybe you could go with Sams in the kind of middle, obviously going with that quadruple. But again, I'd possibly be looking more towards a usable, maybe very usable. But I think we've got so many centre-backs. I think you'd be looking realistically back there. Strom, unfortunately, is more of an Evo sort of character, if anything. And then you also have Williams as a right back. We've got far too many. And then we have Kurtz, who again is just going to be in that bottom feeder sort of level. We do have a little bit of Marta. She's actually coming in at a decent rating and also a decent price. The only thing for me, the playstyle pluses are just a bit everywhere. Now, I know she's more of the dribbler. She didn't even get the 5-5, which was a bit of a shame, to be honest. I do think that at this point in the game, if you're going to release a card with not the greatest playstyle pluses, at least give her everything as a fighting chance. The 5-5 would have been nice. She has the stats for it. Dribbling, incredible. Great passing. Big upgrade on the defending. Obviously, the physicality's solid. Great amount of shooting, but technical, trickster, tiki-taka. I mean, some people use the technical, but I don't think it'll be used too much for her. Tiki-taka, fair enough, but then trickster, you need to make it a bit more of a fighting chance for her. Now, again, some people might prefer her in certain different positions. Realistically, for me, I just think she would be a little bit more of a burden in the spot more than anything. We then have Lebon. Yeah, we'll go with that. Obviously, centre mid coming in with the pinged pass, the long ball pass, and the tiki-taka. More of the passing expert, if anything. Stats-wise, as standard as ever. I mean, playstyle plus-wise, you could definitely get a decent amount out. 5-star weak foot, add a little bit of an anchor or something along them lines. You've got yourself a very solid centre mid. So, for the price, I think you could potentially go with more the usable side of stuff. And it kind of leaves some of the better players. Now, we do have an SBC involved with that, with our girl Gonzalez. Striker, 94, finesse, first touch, low driven, solid. Pace-wise, could do with a bit of work, to be honest, but, I mean, you could still get a solid amount out of her and really kind of push it forward. 95, 88, 97. Also then having the 5-5, just a generic nice card. And in terms of price, 71,000. I mean, for a 95, solid amount of value. I think you could potentially get a decent amount out of it, to be honest. And then we kind of do go into some of the more anticipated cards, I'd say. We do have another Chawinga. I don't know if she's changed or she does have a sister that plays in the NWSL as well as then the League One. Incredible card again. Quadruple with the low driven power shot is what it is. Incisive and a quick step. There's a lot of different things that you can kind of do with this card. 785. We've got some solid stats. Just if they could have given 90 passing, that would have been just more of a pleasing to the eye of obviously having everything above 90 bar for the defending. Don't expect it from a winger, so that's fine. But in general, a brilliant card. Again, you're going to be seeing a lot of her if you are bringing up like an NWSL team without many icons in there. She's definitely going to be one that you would consider. So I wouldn't personally go into the top meta, but I'd definitely be very close. I'd be looking at her in kind of a very, like Shaqiri, very comfortable, very usable. She definitely has got some stats that will get overrun very quickly once we get into La Liga and further promos, but a very nice card to say the least. We then also have got a few others. Rodman's obviously to come as well. We do have a solid Cam. Now, I don't think she's absolute number one, and the rating's great. Some decent playstyle pluses. Travella's an interesting one, but we could kind of use that from the middle. You then have the Incisive, the First Touch, which could work. 4-star, 4-star. She's obviously coming in from a future star as well. It's questionable. Very, very questionable in my eyes. 4-star, 4-star is a little bit under the value in my opinion. She's obviously got the stats to go with it. Great passing, dribbling, all that shebang. You know full well that she's going to be a solid card. I just think you're probably looking more usable. When you consider all of the team of the seasons that we've got, because this is just a snapshot. We have got so many other teams. You got to be realistic. Is she going to be in there with the Cole Palmers of the game, the Bellinghams eventually? Realistically, probably not. Now, we do have Banda. What was she in? Was she in a team of the season last year? I swear I remember the name, or at least a solid card from her. She was the team of the year honourable. Maybe not. It might be just that card that I'm thinking. I'm thinking in incredible pace. It might have been the 95 pace with a quick step on the Trailblazer, I think that is. That was a very solid card to have. In terms of a striker, she's going to have that pace, that shooting, that dribbling, and then a little bit lacking on everything else. The strength is gone, obviously, and then the 5-star weak foot. Finesse, press proven, quick step. I mean, a solid striker to say the least. I mean, you could definitely get a solid amount out of her. Again, you're going to have to look at the NWSL. Being from Zambia, it's going to be very hard to link. She's just not going to have that link ability. Maybe a super sub could be an option. I think that really could be your best bet more than anything. But realistically, you're kind of going to put it down a bit here. And finally, Rodman. Incredible card, great dynamic, 95 rated, finally linking up to that 95 Ballon d'Or honourable mentions card that we got from a beautiful card. Great stats. Obviously, my biggest pet peeve, the rapid and technical. Now, I mean, stats-wise, she's going to be good. She's got the finesse at the minimum, so you have got at least 2 playstyle pluses if you prefer the technical or rapid that are good with the finesse. So that is kind of one thing. 5-star weak foot, but I do think that is such a waste to have that technical on there. I get having multiple ways to run your run types. I get that that's good and it works, but could have had something else. Even if it was an incisive, it would have added a different layer to her. Stats wise, she's obviously going to be one of the better ones, coming in with an incredible amount of physicality. Dribbling's there, passing's there, shooting's there, pace is most definitely there. She's always had a solid card going in. It's just always been kind of that outside shot that is worth looking at the minimum, but whether you prefer her over a team of the season Salah is always the big question. And that is going to be everybody from the NWSL and also the Europa Select. We have got La Liga coming in the coming weeks, and we will do a best of team of the season Wednesday or Thursday. Leave it down below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.